So take it away, Randall.
All right, thank you so much, Gene. It is pretty funny to say that we actually haven't met in person. We've been in communication weekly for the past couple of weeks. But Gene's been really fantastic to work with about this tool, and uh, it's really been great to have someone that really believes in what we've been trying to create with making civic advocacy, civic participation more accessible to people. A little bit about my background is that I have been in New Hampshire for just about 10 years. I am an engineer. Primarily, I used to be a mechanical engineer. Now I work a lot more in this kind of civic participation space and community organizing. Um, and what I've really learned over the past year or two or so is that New Hampshire, I think we all know, has a very unique legislative body. And I think that we need an equally unique way to make sure that everybody has access to the legislative information and to the representation that we need to really embody a citizen legislature here in New Hampshire. And One of the things that I was really drawn to and really uh, wanted to try to address in uh, through this tool is really just looking at voting and how people that are supposed to be representing their communities, um, are they actually representing their community, and what tools exist to take a look at that. And so I think if I said raise your hand if you're tired of partisan politics, I think the vast majority of people, yeah, would raise their hands. And I think the way to move past partisan politics is to really elevate individual legislator accountability. New Hampshire has a really fascinating, truly unique legislative body with 400 state representatives. Each of them are our neighbors, and I really think that they need to be treated as such. And the everyday people need to be able to have access and be given the opportunity to participate in a way that's meaningful for everyone. And so, over the past couple of months, I've been working on developing New Hampshire Deserves Better. What New Hampshire Deserves Better is a collection of tools that I'm hoping to build to make civic participation easier. Um, and I'm working to design this with New Hampshire's very interesting legislative body in mind. I really want this to be a tool designed by the community for the community. And what I've done is really laid the groundwork for what I think could be a tool that can really make civic participation easier. But what I need now is for more people in the community to step up in helping me take this tool to um, the next level. The first tool that we've developed is FindMyNHCandidate.org, which a lot of you have probably heard about. That's really the first one, just because it's the most prescient one given primaries and our state election coming up. This is the first tool that we're really hoping to get off the ground and develop as far as we can and make sure um, that we get the information about this tool into as many communities as possible, but also making sure that the information that is in the tool is what communities need in order to truly understand their um, representation. And so I'm going to walk through the tool as it is now. I think there is a Q&A option in here. If you have any questions, you can use that, or you can put them in the comments section, and I'll make sure to address them towards the end. And Jean will be helping with moderating that. Um, but yeah, let's jump on over to the tool. So there were three big goals that I had in mind for when I was developing this tool. Number one is I wanted to make it easier to find out who your representation is and who your candidates are. Number two, I wanted people to be able to understand the context of who their candidates and representation is. I think it's very hard, can be very hard even when you find out who your legislators are or who your candidates are. Um, Trying to get like a real sense of whether or not they're good representation for our community and if they have our best interest in mind. Um, and then number three is I really wanted to help connect votes uh, at the state house to um, specific legislators, while also making sure that we can connect that information to real world impacts and how they're facing us every day. Um, and so, keeping those three main things in mind, I will go through this tool and kind of show you some of the features. A lot of them are pretty obvious, but there are a couple of things in there that I think really add to the tool. And so, the first thing that I'll share is the when you go into FindMyNHCandidate.org, you're going to be presented with this page, which has an address entry bar, but also a filter bar towards the bottom. They primarily serve the same purpose, but sometimes the results that you can get can be a little bit different. So one thing I wanted to show is when you go into this and put in your address, what this does is give you a full summary of offices that are represented by offices that represent your location. And then also, so we have the offices, the total number of seats. Some offices, this is the total number of people that represent you, and then we have candidates for those seats. Scrolling down, you can further see the results for candidates broken into the seat or the office that they're seeking. And so here we have Hillsborough 19, which is a state representative seat. There are 2 seats there, 5 candidates, and you're able to see them all here. Scrolling down to Hillsborough District 40, very similar. This one is labeled floterial because it is floterial. I won't go into detail what that means. I'm assuming everyone here knows what a floterial district is. And then we also have the Senate seats is here as well. So once you go into a profile page, there are kind of 2 different versions of these profile pages. One is for people that are existing legislators, and then there is a version for people that are just candidates. For people that are existing legislators, you're going to get a letter grade based off of their alignment with online testimony. And so what we've done with this is we looked at the top 53 or so. We've looked at the bills that we've looked at the top 53. Let me figure out how to word this. So we looked at all of the bills that had online testimony, and the ones that we are starting to bring into the tool, we're prioritizing bringing into the tool, are the ones that have a total amount of online testimony. And so these are bills that have a couple of thousand people have gone through the process of submitting online testimony for these bills, and that's what we're using to calculate our letter grade. You can see a description of that letter grade when you hover over the grade as well, but clicking into it, you can see more into the methodology of how we calculated that. One interesting thing to note is that being absent for a vote does have a partial accountability metric for that, and so the grade not only represents people's alignment with the preferred stance as interpreted by the testimony, but also depends on their attendance record. And you will see a note of their attendance record when you scroll down as well. Another thing we've gone through and done is added some tags that we felt were important for communities to understand when they're looking at people that are looking to represent them. And so Here we have free state aligned and TP action aligned. Both of these do have explanations of the methodology of how we determine that, and they are also clickable to the pages that elaborate on that. And so free state aligned, we use the New Hampshire Liberty Alliance's scorecard and attributed free state aligned tags to people that scored B plus or higher. TP Action very similarly has a scorecard as well, and so we use the same methodology there. Below this header, within the header, you will see the details of the role for current legislators. This will show their current position. For candidates, this will show the position that they're seeking. Below that is a link bar that has all of the links and contact information that we have so far for these legislators. And then in the roles panel below, here we have a switch where you can toggle between their current role, if they're an existing legislator, and then the role that they're seeking. For most people, this is going to be the same thing, but there are a handful of candidates that are moving, and so they have different candidacies or candidate roles in their current role. Another important thing I wanted to show is that looking at candidate roles, you can see the office that they're seeking. It gives a summary of the seats and the total number of candidates for that office. Clicking on that takes you back to the candidate page, but it automatically filters to show you just the candidates for that seat. You can copy and paste this URL and it'll carry over those results and link directly to this page. For existing legislators, this is where you can see more details on the bills that we're using to calculate their testimony alignment. And so this just shows a preview of 5 bills. If you want to see more about those bills and those votes, you can click into that. It will give you a full summary of all of the bills that we're using, and then you can scroll through. Some bills do have some additional information, but for this initial phase of this project, we're not focusing on adding too much details to the summary and descriptions of the bills. We felt that the data for the voting and the online testimony was sufficient. That's absolutely something that we would love to work on as we continue to develop these tools. But the thing that I really wanted to highlight is that we want people to really get a truly full understanding of who their candidates are and who their legislators are. And so what we have here is a space for someone to share relevant insights into these candidates or legislators. This profile doesn't have one, but ultimately what we're looking for is screenshots or verifiable information where a candidate has said something about a specific issue area that we think that you might think is important for your community to understand when it comes time to voting for these people. And then we also have articles in here that are very similar. They are linked to legislators when they come through. And so, yeah, are there any questions about the profile so far? Oh, we also have endorsements. Endorsements, we're also working on including endorsements. And so you'll see these get added as we become aware of them as well. But we do want this to be a tool that is built by the community, and so we're really hoping to rely on community members to submit information that they know about their legislators. Really, what we want, if ultimately, like the question of whether or not we would want to include this in something like this is the information variable. We don't necessarily want it to be something that's like airing a personal grievance with a legislator. We want this to be something that's relevant to the role that they're hoping to serve. And yeah, ultimately, is it verifiable, and is it something that is, and you think that would be important for your neighbors or other people in your community to know? Are there any questions so far?
Hey guys, this is Mary Beth. I just want to say that as a first time candidate running for state rep, I'm feeling overwhelmed about not knowing like my opponent's voting records, so to speak. And in looking at this website, it seems like it's going to be a great resource to be able to look at what some of the Republican candidates I'm running against have voted for and stuff like that. So I'm this is great. I'm loving it.
Thank you so much. And this is my first time running through the tool, so sorry that I'm learning how to talk about this as we're going through it. Um, just to run through a non-current legislator profile, it's almost identical to a current legislator's. The only thing is that you're not going to see information relevant to their current position because they don't have one. But you will see all of the other information. This person unfortunately does not have any endorsements. Um, and yeah, a couple of other
Randall,
things. Yes.
Randall, try Dale Fincher.
Oh yeah. So now that we're done looking at the address bar, so we have the filter bar down here that is very similar, but it's for more granular results. And so what you can do is type in a name of somebody and it'll pull up their profile. And you can scroll down and look at that. We have a submission about Dale Fincher by our very own Jane Deach. And this is kind of what it looks like. Um, and yeah, you can see he has an endorsement. Um, uh, Another thing that I included is basically a community updates page, and what this shows is all of the submissions that we've had so far for community updates. And so you can see some of the stuff that we've received. I don't know why this link is not working, but um, we know despite Matthew Ping being registered a Democrat, he has extremely strong ties to the Free State Project leadership, and the video that is linked here is actually him doing an interview with Free State Project leadership. Um, there's the one for Dale Fincher, and then we have some other things that people have been submitting. So Judith Lindsay completed the Citizens Count survey and answered that she's not for legalizing marijuana. Relevant information to their position. And then, yeah, we also have endorsements for organizations as well, and stuff like that. So ultimately, like what people can help us out with now is just making sure that this information is accurate. I have done all of my due diligence to make sure that I've coalesced all of this information, but it is so complex. We have over 800 candidates, or just about 800 candidates, and so it can be easy for like something to get missed. And so, if people that are a little bit more privy to this information are able to go in, check your address, make sure that the candidates that are showing up are correct, that helps tremendously. If you have relevant information about candidates, submitting that information through the community contacts is very helpful with making sure your neighbors understand who your candidates are. Um, and really, any information that you have that you think would be relevant, honestly, feel free to send it our way, and we can let you know if it works. Some of this information, like the New Hampshire House Republican Alliance, the scorecard, somebody actually messaged us and was like, "You should include those scorecard ratings." And I was like, "Oh yeah, that's a great piece of information to have." So I went through and incorporated all of those. And so, yeah, we're really wanting this to be kind of a community database of legislators and candidates, to really make sure that all of our community members can go to the polls, and make the best decision about what their community needs. Um, And yeah, if there's no more detail or questions about like this portion, I can talk a little bit about what else we're hoping to like develop for this tool.
Well, I just wanted to say that any reps who are on and candidates who are here should, of course, take a look at theirs and make sure
Yep.
that their particular information is updated. I know that we still need some photographs for some of the candidates, so particularly if your photo's not there, there's a
Yes.
little place. It's
Oh yeah.
it's separate. Yeah, there's a separate place to input your candidate data, right, Randall?
So I actually made that a little bit easier. So if you want to submit information for a profile, you can come down here to this bar, and you can actually submit profile photos, any of their social media links, or their website, and submit it here, and we'll review just to make sure that the information is accurate, and then we can update it almost immediately.
Okay, great. Backup. How do we do that?
You go to the profile, scroll down to the candidate role section, and it's this drop down right here.
Okay, so in theory, anybody could, like, my worst enemy could submit a picture of me looking like a jackass.
No, no. All of it is reviewed. It's moderated by our team, so we're gonna double check everything, and then if it makes sense, then we'll update it. But also, candidates, if you submit information, we're not gonna let somebody else like overwrite something that you submit. So just make sure
Okay,
you
just
let us
checking.
know that you sent it.
So Randall, I don't have that section below for website, Instagram, etc. Mine stops at sort of like profile photo. I don't get all those different options if I click on my candidate that I'm trying to add information on. So you see, you got all that stuff below, all the social media fields. I don't have those on my form.
Okay. Would you let me? Can you let me know what candidate that you're trying to look at?
Yeah, close, Kloos, Marco, Marko. So you click on what should neighbors know, and that opens some of the
Oh,
fields.
it's this one. It's in the box above it. So right under towns represented, there's the help improve this profile.
Ah, okay, thank you. That helps.
And also information like that is also like questions like that are also helpful because we want to make this as user friendly as possible. So that suggests to me that we just need to help with adding some distinction between like this drop down and the one below. So yeah, thank you.
So why, can I ask, why is not the social media, et cetera, down as part of other information you're adding? Is it because one is community information and one is profile? Is that it?
Yeah, so the one at the top is more like relevant to like their campaign information, where you can find out like
Okay,
published
got it.
information from their campaign. Here is like you have a link to maybe like a specific page on their campaign or a screenshot of something on their campaign or a screenshot of something on their website or on their social media. This is for more like specific stuff that might not be
All right,
a
I did wrong.
campaign's
Okay, I'll
primary
start again.
narrative.
Well, you can decide when you get it.
Yeah, and that also works like if it's too complicated, if you don't know where something goes, just feel free to just send it to me. You can also send information to me through suggest and update, and you can just include the link here, and I can decide where it goes as well. So
Suggest an update is the orange box at the top right-hand corner of every page. Oh, and also at the bottom.
yes.
Okay,
Okay.
all right,
Oh,
thanks.
What I use the community information page for is things that show what a candidate thinks that they're not showing on their profile. So these are the things that, hey, this is what he may say on his page that he's this wonderful person, and here's his Twitter feed, you know. So here's here's a screenshot of his Twitter feed and a link to that screenshot so that Randall can verify, oh yeah, he really did say that.
Yeah, that makes sense as I get into it. It's just looking at it for the first time. It's
Yeah. Real quick, another feature is that the website does save recently viewed, and so if you get tired of adding your address or doing the filters a bunch, if you go to the home page and scroll down, you can see all of the or see 6 of the recent accounts that you've accessed, which helps quite a bit.
Mhm.
All right. Well, does anybody have any questions? Does anybody have any other comments about this tool? I would love to hear like what people are thinking, because again, we want this to be something that's really beneficial to the community, and we can make updates as we go. Katie.
Randall, thanks for all your work on this. It's great. I did have a question I put into the chat, but I just wanted to see if I could get an answer on it. And so, if I understand correctly, the way you've built your tool is that it is based on a percentage ranking of how often a legislator, for the current legislators, agree with those bills that received a lot of input in forms of testimony submitted. So, we do on the Democratic progressive side are much better at doing that than the Republican side. If the Republicans decide to get their act together where they are getting people to increasingly submit testimony, does that start skewing the results based on the formulation that you're using, if that makes sense?
I mean, it does. It is going to change the results. Well, yeah, it is going to change the results, but I think that will be for the benefit of all of us. I think, again, at the beginning of this, I said, like, do we want to move past partisan politics? I think that having more people show how they are feeling their sentiments for specific bills would help us move towards something that is more issue focused and less necessarily just like partisan focused. Because even with the bills that we have, where the progressives are like progressives are better about, well, I don't know if I'll say that, but not all Democrat sponsored bills are getting a ton of testimony. It's still only a handful about specific ones that are getting a ton of testimony. And so it will, if everyone starts participating more, it will change the grades. But I do think, honestly, that is my goal.
Right, right.
To me, that's a good thing. So
Oh, a follow-up to that, just a comment is increasingly I hear people in the social media circles commenting that um, you know, taking time to submit testimony isn't worthwhile because it's just discounted by the Republican legislators. And I think that's dangerous that that's out there because I do think there's been instances where it's made an impact and
yeah,
bills have gotten voted down. Plus, I think it gives substantial um, data for our side to use to say, hey, X number of people weighed in and put it in the permanent record, right? So I guess what I do like about the way your tool is measuring is we can now use this as another talking point to people in our circles to say, hey, it's very important for you to weigh in on bills,
yeah.
make your voice heard.
Again, and like this is a tool that the state has made available to us. It is an absolute shame that it's not being taken seriously by some of our legislators, but by including it in tools like this and really amplifying this kind of information, we can really shift how legislators are engaging with online testimony. If having a citizen legislature is made better when everyone can participate. And I think that being able to participate in this way through online testimony is completely valid and it should be respected. And if we, by elevating that information, we can push for that to be the case and shift the culture around it. So, thank you. Caitlin.
Hi. Thank you for all of this. I personally have been spending a lot of time going and testifying and didn't do a lot of the online testimony. I wonder how that plays in because I don't know if it's still a record, but I don't know how it's recorded, or if it's just that because when you go, you like sign in. That was
Yeah.
like one of my things.
Yeah, so online testimony is easy to tabulate because I can basically get it in an Excel sheet. In-person testimony is still there and it is still available. I just either have to like download the PDF from the state website, or if it went through the Senate, I have to email them to have them email me back the PDF. But that is information I do think is very important to include in this. The only caveat to that is the amount of labor that it takes to incorporate data in that format. And so, yes, I want to include it, but it's a capacity issue. And so, if we can get this project to be funded, if we're able to show that this project and the information that we're sharing is valuable to the community, I would love to work to make the data more comprehensive. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I have a couple more. Sorry. Um, so I mean, I just in the future will make sure that I do online testimony and go because I think that that sometimes going, has a different impact. But also I know that for myself, if I wasn't like in opposition of something, I was less likely to do the online testimony. So that's just a sharing my own thoughts. So I'll do better at that myself. But I was wondering how, so I have a lot of neighbors that are Democrats. I have Republicans, independents, and not undeclared, all the everybody's everything. And I want to be able to show this to them. How would you, how would you suggest that so it almost sounds like who is verifying the information? I mean, I know you are, but like it's very easy for somebody to be like, oh, well, but who is he? He's this guy that's going in and only looking at things from this view. And
Yeah.
I don't agree with that. But I want to be able to say, like, it's not just you, you have other people. Like, what is the process so that I can get all of my neighbors to look at it?
So, what I can say is that for all of the data that's included in this site, I have made that data accessible. And so, if you are curious about the veracity of any claim, that's why, like, when people are submitting content, I want to make sure that there's a screenshot and or a link because then if somebody's questioning the validity, they can go verify it themselves. For information about bill testimony, you're also able to go through and click through to see the details on the testimony, and then you can scroll through the testimony as well yourself. And yeah, I think that like we're always going to include. I calling it like the source of truth sounds like haughty, but we'll always include we'll always try to make sure to include the source for any information that we're including. And so if somebody, yeah, again, if
You're
somebody's
coming with
questioning this,
receipts. I get
what
it.
was that?
You're coming with
Okay.
receipts. I'm going to say you're coming with receipts because you
Yes.
do. You
Thank
have
you.
all the receipts, and that's what it is. So, yeah. Okay. And
Okay.
I think
Thank
that's
you.
a good thing for all of us to be able to like say because you're going to have people, or I'm going to have people that I bring it up to that are going to be like, oh, well, like anybody can make a web. Well, I mean, not any, I
Yeah.
can't do any of this stuff. Clearly, well, you are a million times me. I just mean like you're not just. It's not like do what I say.com. Like it's a
No.
real. You
Yeah.
have receipts, and I think that that's like something that we should all be able to kind of
Yeah.
uh, keep
As
people.
far as the sources are, they should either be, news stories or the person's actual own Twitter feed or, something that's valid. I think Ann Garland has a question.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. No, I was waiting. I like to play around with things to get my hands dirty, so I'm still stuck on this. Below the social media, you have source or note. What are we supposed to put in there? Because the source comes from the social media source. So I'm not
Yeah.
quite sure what you're looking for.
If you if you're already including, if that's only, that's optional. You don't have to put anything in there. If
Okay.
there was a reason, yeah, I should change that to like uh something else.
Is it comments? Is that what you're looking for?
Yeah.
Additional
Okay.
comments.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. And the other thing I was going to ask is, so presumably I'm going to try and do this for my new candidates, and then if they get elected, do we have to go back in, I guess, and change their probably not their social media, but their website? We have to be, cognizant that this is up and running and we need to edit it. Would you be sending an email out to everybody saying, "Okay, guys, you got elected. Think about it," or how does the transition work?
Um, I I haven't gotten that far yet, actually.
Okay.
But I'm hoping, and when we get into what we need to help Randall do in the future, that things like lists of candidates and lists of legislators, those hopefully would be updated automatically.
Right.
So that
Okay.
the person who's elected, but that's the future work to be done.
Right.
And that's what we've got to make sure Randall has enough groceries to keep it going.
Yes. So, for current legislators, this state does have like I can download the list of legislators once they're elected.
Right.
So
Yeah.
we don't have to worry about that. But if there is additional information, as long as I have your email, I think it, or the candidate's email, I think it is a good
Right.
idea for me to send out an email about asking them to update their profile. And so that's something I'll absolutely consider once we
Hmm.
get to that
Yeah, I know you
point.
haven't got there. It's just my thinking ahead, sort of this
Yeah, I
stuff lives
appreciate
there
it.
forever. And I haven't said it, but thank you for doing this. I think it's wonderful. Um, and I appreciate the work you've put into it. So thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, do you have anything more that you want to tell us, Randall, or should I go ahead and
I
start
think
my
that's it
PowerPoint?
for now. Yeah, I think we can talk about move on to like the next steps for this portion specifically. And I think I'll probably work on scheduling another talk later in the year about next steps for the site as a whole.
Okay. Okay. So I am going to go here. So what my job is to have us keep this going and to share it with as many people as possible and to talk about how we do that. So is our to-do list, all you activists. We need to populate the database with verifiable data, as Randall has talked to us about. We need to share links to the database. There are custom links and generic links, which I'll show you in a minute. And we need to help Randall, and New Hampshire Deserves Better, to build a system to update, maintain, and grow the database. He hasn't mentioned it, but my dream is that come next spring or February or March or January, um, we get a list of all the local candidates and let people input their stuff. Wouldn't that be something, huh? So anyway, we need to help him. And then GraniteStateMatters.org has resources, and I'm moving some of our resources to point to this database rather than to point to other information just about Free Staters. So, to number one is populate the database with verifiable data. I wouldn't overwhelm people. What I want to emphasize is research that I found fascinating, which is that if you have a big long list of bullet points, the human brain averages the strength of those points. So if you have four kind of not very important points and two terrific points, those 4 points are watering down the validity of the 2 points. So I'll emphasize again, what is most important to know about this candidate? What is the egregious thing that this opposition candidate has done? Okay. Include screenshots or photos. If you make an image, obviously people look at it and it's easier for our brains to digest. And then link to original stuff for verification. Or sometimes, after they get a lot of flack, they delete it, which may be what happened to your video there, Randall.
Yeah.
And so if they have deleted something, but you've got the screenshot of it, talk about when and how you obtained that screenshot, even though there's no active link to it now. Okay, so that's populating the database. Secondly, you want to share links to the database. Now, Sebastian was just suggesting that we make a video, which I think is a great idea. Make a video about the tool. And it's, a 1-minute video describing it would be terrific. But when you share just links itself, there are 2 ways to share. And Randall mentioned it briefly. But let's say that you live in Hudson and you want to tell everybody in Hudson about your candidates. Well, you can go in and filter the candidates for the town of Hudson. And then once you've got that page up, then go up to your browser and see here, see up here, copy this URL and share that with people, and then they won't have to search through or filter the candidates. They'll automatically go to your town's candidates when you share. Okay, so that's a custom link. Okay, then we have generic links. This is an image that you can use. It's available at our website. You can have it. I will send this little PowerPoint out to everybody so you can share it from there. There are palm cards, and actually, when you get this PowerPoint, if you can see when I click on here, it's going to actually go to the image, or it will actually go to the PDF of this that you can print out. These are great to hand out at protests and markets and fairs and so forth. 6 up on a side, and you just cut them into 6, but they're a nice size to hand out. We're making these NewHampshireVotersGuide.org with the QR code here. We're making this, and this all goes to the same website, even though it has different names. NewHampshireVotersGuide.org QR code. We're making yard signs for these, 18 by 24. We've got 500 yard signs coming in. And if you can be a sign captain for these and hand out, 10, 20, 30, however many you're able to distribute and put into wonderful places for everyone to see, please write me, admin@granitestateMatters.org. Okay. Then we need to help Randall. We need to donate. And if you click on here, well, here you can see the URL. It's givebutter.com/FindMyNHCandidate. And you can donate. And we need to get as many donations as we can. Lots of tiny donations works, big donations work, but he's got to keep going. He's done all this on his own dime. I don't think we've said that so far, but we need to give him a little money to keep going. So please, we've got 10% of what we need so far. And that's pretty good considering we've only been up there for a week. So if you can help out, please do. Okay, and then finally, as always, Granite State Matters has links to share, palm cards, videos, flyers, leaflets, a presentation of my stuff for Free State agenda. And that's all at granitestatematters.org, available for you all for free. So that is what we've got going on. But I believe that using this tool, we can change the way New Hampshire votes. We can make it easy to get information about candidates and elections. And I think it's really exciting. So, Randall, did you have any final words, or anybody else have any final questions or anything they wanted to say? Kathy?
Hi, Jean.
Hi.
This is very exciting. Another great stepping stone for Granite State Matters. I just want to bring up the fact that on the Facebook page, in our Facebook group, it's private, but it has that share button. And if you share directly from there out to Facebook, I think, you can correct me if I'm wrong, it will only open if a person is a member of the private group. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And
But,
so we should make sure that if you're sharing something from there, do a copy and a paste in order to have everybody that you want to have access it. But most of the stuff will be on your website and not on the Facebook page.
Randall, the New Hampshire Debates Better, is that a group or a page? It's a public page. It's a public page.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay.
anything there or anything at our website,
yeah,
you'll be able to share directly.
Yeah. Okay. I just wanted to make that clarification, because when you open up that thing, content not found, other people might say, why not? So, and I think that share button just came up recently.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Happy manages Granite State website. Yeah, we've been having some trouble with Facebook.
So that's why you just copy and paste, and then people will see it. If people understand that, what I'm saying. Thank you. That's enough.
Did you have any final words, Randall or Anne?
Yeah, I have a quick question. You were going to talk about floterials, or did you talk about that? Did I miss it?
Well, did you have one? Could you tell Randall which one's not working? Because we were having trouble finding it.
Grafton County 11 is in Grafton County 18, and when I go to the candidate who's running in Grafton County 11, that's part of the floterial 18. You don't have, like, he lives in Hebron, and I put it in. There's the only person that comes up. Do you want his name? No. Do you want the address?
Yes.
251 Valley View Road, Hebron.
251?
Yeah, 251 Valley View Road, Hebron. And maybe I'm just not understanding what I'm looking at.
So I actually did update this today to make it more straightforward. So it does.
Can you share your screen so I can see what you're looking at?
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Thank you.
So it does. So before it was showing state house districts in this same bubble, but I pulled out floterial ones just so it's easier to see. And you can see these are the candidates for Grafton 11. And then these ones are the ones for Grafton 18, and it now includes...
That didn't load for me. All right. I only get Daniel Innes. Okay. Way down at okay, it loaded. All right, great.
Okay. There is some caching that the website does, so if I made an update with, like, in the hour, it might not upload for you right away.
Good.
But yeah, go to the top of your browser and hit refresh and hope,
Yeah,
hopefully.
yeah. Okay, great. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you.
Okay. Well, I am very pleased with our turnout. We got, what, 21 people here, and I am hoping that you will all share and tell everyone about this wonderful website. And we'll follow up. Sebastian will talk about video, and I will send out this presentation or my little bit of presentation, and I will also send out the recording of the entire thing to everyone who's on this meeting. So thank you all for
Thank you,
coming.
everyone. This was a
Great,
great
thank
turnout.
you.
Thank you so much.
Very
Thank you.
helpful. Lots of homework.
Yes, indeed.
Indeed, Randall, I am really impressed. Again, as a first time running person for candidacy, this is so helpful.
Thank
So
you.
helpful.
Yeah, it's terrific. Thanks so much.
Bye-bye.
And I did speaking about for candidates, I did speak to our DVCC person for Hillsborough County today and made sure that he was aware of the tool and asked him to share it out with candidates because I know he was asked by one candidate who's not here tonight to put some information together on the Republican opponents. I'm like, that's very nice of you to do that, Justin, but there's a whole website now, thanks to Randall. So
Yeah.
yeah. So thanks, Randall.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.